He called himself a lover. But to the women who met him, Wale Drayton was death disguised as charm. In the summer of 2018, police across multiple states were chasing a killer who didn't hunt in alleys or bars. He hunted online. Drayton, a 27-year-old from Hempstead, New York, used dating apps like Tinder to find women. He'd flirt, flatter, and promise romance. But once he got inside their homes, everything changed. It started with Samantha Stewart, a 29-year-old nurse from Queens. She was kind, intelligent, deeply loved by her family. In July 2018, Samantha stopped answering calls. Her father went to check on her and found her body in her bedroom, strangled with clear signs of assault. The crime scene was brutal, personal, and chillingly organized. Police found DNA evidence linking it to one man, Danueal Drayton. When detectives tried to track him down, they realized he'd already vanished. Days later, another report surfaced. A woman in Brooklyn claimed Drayton had kidnapped and raped her, then held her prisoner for 2 days. She managed to escape, and police now knew they weren't chasing an isolated killer. They were chasing a serial predator. Drayton fled New York, crossing the country to Los Angeles. But even on the run, he didn't stop. In California, he met another woman through an online dating site, and within days, she was his next victim. Police found her tied up in a hotel room, barely alive. Drayton was arrested at the scene. Inside the room, investigators found duct tape, zip ties, and signs of careful planning. During interrogation, what he told detectives sounded less like confession and more like delusion. He claimed he was being controlled by voices, that he was a time traveler who was told to kill. He said the women he murdered wanted to die. But investigators weren't convinced. To them, this was no accident of madness. It was manipulation, control, evil hiding behind empathy. As the investigation expanded, police began connecting dots. Similar attacks stretching from New York to Connecticut to California. The same pattern every time. A dating app, a promise of love, then violence and silence. Authorities later revealed that Drayton was suspected in multiple assaults and murders, possibly across several states. The story forced people to look differently at online dating. For years, people had warned about scammers or catfishers. But Drayton wasn't after money. He was after control. He studied his victims, mirrored their emotions, and used their trust as a weapon. In 2022, after years of court delays, Danueal Drayton was finally convicted of Samantha Stewart's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Standing in court, he showed little emotion, staring blankly as the victim's family described the pain he'd caused. Her father told him, "You didn't just kill my daughter. You killed a piece of me." Drayton didn't look away. He didn't apologize. Today, he sits behind bars, one of the first modern serial killers to fully weaponize dating apps. His story stands as a dark warning for the digital age, that monsters no longer wait in the shadows. Sometimes they wait behind a smiling profile picture, a casual chat, and a promise that feels safe. Because for Danueal Drayton, love was never the goal. Control was. And when that control slipped, death followed.